So a lot of people were asking about my coming out story, so I thought I might as well share it. Essentially, I came out to my grandmother, Graham, who had Stephen and Stephen. Was Stephen right?
Stephen.
Am I saying right? I feel like I'm saying Steve. Yeah. Stephen and my father. So then I felt like she was kind of, I mean, I was close to her then, and she also like had experience with that. So that's who I told. And then she told my parents. So I didn't directly come to you and say, I'm gay. You asked me about it. Because Graham emailed you.
That's not my memory. That's not how I remember anything.
We were in the car driving to swim team, and I was sitting in the back, and I remember you told me Graham emailed me and told me what you guys talked about.
No, that's not.
That's my memory. So what's your memory of me coming out?
So we were driving to swim, and your sister was like, "Tell her, Sloan, tell her," because you had told Delaney, and you said, "I'm gay," and I said, "I know." Your grandmother never emailed me or told me anything. And your grandmother and I would discuss it throughout the years because she, just like I did, suspected that maybe you were gay. And that was okay. And we would talk about it because she had experience with it. But she never came to me and told me.
I just have a completely different memory. Like, I remember you guys knew before Delaney. Because Delaney, when she found out, she was hysterical. She was like, I don't want my children to get... Like, so there was no me hiding that. Like, Delaney couldn't hide that from you guys. So you guys knew before her because... She was hysterical.
I mean, I always knew, and I don't. You guys never shared.
Well, now
with me
you always
her
knew, but I'm just telling you, like, yeah. I mean, she was like, I don't want children to have a gay uncle, and those things. I mean, and of course, she's like 11 years old. Like, she was a kid. I'm not writing it off, but I'm just saying it's so interesting that you have a whole other story because mine. I remember being in the basement talking to Graham about it. Literally the next day is when that happened, when we had the swim team thing. And then that night is when I talked to Delaney about it, and that's when she got hysterical.
I don't recall any of that.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I need to just dive deeper in therapy and figure out when that happened, because that's my memory of it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you remember it?
No. Oh, I remember you actually coming to me, and I was in the family room, and I was sitting in my chair, and you came down, and I had already... assumed and things like that. But the evening that you came to me and you came out and you just said, "Hey, Dad, I'm gay." And it was definitely emotional just because I felt a closer connection with you, for you to be confident enough to come out and talk to us about it. I thought that was really great. It was, it's definitely a tearjerker moment, but I don't know that it was sadness. I think it was maybe more, hey, man, you're finally finding yourself and you'll be able to maybe be stronger for yourself. Because I know it's difficult for some gay
it's
people
for every gay person.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. And I saw that difficulty with Steve. I saw that difficulty with people not wanting him to come into a restaurant and things. And I so didn't want that for you. And I'm so thankful that time has kind of corrected itself and made things definitely
easier.
Definitely easier. But it was very emotional when you came to me, and I believe that was kind of the internal feeling that I had was, gosh, man, I'm glad.
Yeah, there's feelings of. I mean, also with Steve too, that makes sense because it's like you watched him go through all of that. It's like, oh, I wouldn't want that.
It was so scary whenever you saw people so standoffish, and it was just it was a bummer, man.
Yeah.
It really sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad he couldn't see the gayest city in the world.
Oh my gosh.
He would have loved it.
Yeah.
He would have fit right in.
Absolutely. I mean, he's looking down on you right now.
I know. Imagine if he was around and he could I was friends with the gay. Because I don't have any other gay family members, I don't think.
Oh, you'd probably be next to their neighbors or something, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and finish by talking a little bit about my career on YouTube. Obviously, that's changed my life a lot. And when it changes my life, it also affects my family in some ways too. So I just want to talk a little bit about what were your initial, like we discussed earlier, I made videos growing up, so it wasn't new for me to go and post a video online, but it was new when I started getting some traction. So when that started to pick up, do you remember kind of what you thought about it, or was it just used to it because you saw me posting?
I think we were always definitely supportive of it. However, it was important to us that you got a college education. Mm-hmm. And you remember when you came out of college and you went to work for corporate for a couple of years, I was very scared of you leaving that just because of the unknown in what you wanted to do. But I think your dad and I were always supportive and knew that you would be successful. I mean, when he made that video at the pool, down by the pool with Annie,
when you were exercising our dog.
I sent that to Ellen. because I loved it so much. I thought it was the best thing I'd ever seen in my life. You made
great.
some really
I made
fantastic
so
videos.
many goofy videos growing up too.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what I was doing, you know.
Yeah, but Annie was a big focal part
Yeah.
for a while. She you had her dancing and things. And
I would have her in my videos. I'd pull my desk chair up next to me, sit by the window, and have her sitting just on the desk chair,
She was
just
a great
facing the camera.
co-host.
Yeah, I have some videos out there that you guys can find her in there. So when I started to get more and more views, and even myself, I didn't ever think I'd be doing YouTube full time. I didn't think that there was really, even the bandwidth to support you financially on YouTube. Like, I felt great in my corporate job. It was, secure. This was like a fun little hobby. So then when I started to become more successful at it and like actually take it, full time, did you have like reservations about me leaving that job? I mean, at that point, I left a 6-year-long relationship. I was leaving my career, and I was just going to move into Airbnbs in Florida. So,
and that's what you did.
I mean, do you remember those, like, kind of having like just being nervous about it, or?
I think once you decided to leave, I don't know. I don't remember feeling nervous about it. I was nervous prior to you making that decision, but once you made the decision, I've never had any fears about what you're doing. As far as from a success standpoint, I always thought you would be successful. And your dad and I have been just incredibly proud of what you've done.
Absolutely. I was a little bit nervous. I wanted you to kind of ride that job out because it was a great job coming out of college. I mean, at that year, people were coming out of college and their kids had nothing to go to. They
couldn't get jobs.
But you got a nice job, and then you started focusing on your YouTube stuff, and that it was exciting. It was nice, and you were pretty open with us. As far as like how you were being paid, and that you were able to make a living at it. And but once you got to your certain level, I knew you were smart enough to make your decisions, and you're smart enough to know not to gamble too much on being successful and being able to take care of yourself.
Yeah, social media doesn't last forever. So a lot of people, when they're in this industry, they need to be smart with their money, just because you never know, your channel could be deleted. You can be canceled.
Canceled.
No one wants to get canceled.
Crazy.
We're not getting canceled over here. Do you think some people criticize, those who jump into this career and who have this kind of success and be like, YouTube changed you? Do you think YouTube changed me?
Not to me. I don't feel like it changed you.
No, I don't.
I feel
honestly,
like you're the same person.
I don't see a difference. I see you being more generous because you're able to, you're certainly able to be more generous, but that's great. I mean, it's but you've always been very smart with, what you want to do and what you want to do next and things like that. I mean, you're focused and it shows, and I'm very proud of that.
Do you watch my content?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. Like what, like you just will put it on when you're like sitting down, or like what?
Yeah.
Put it on the background, or what do you do?
Well, Instagram's daily. I mean, I watch your Instagram stories daily. That's how I know, kind of keep up with you and things. But no, after work, I get home and get a little time. We just pop you on and see what's.
Dad would be like reading the comments. Like, is it weird?
He loves to read the comments.
I love the comments. Yeah.
I never read my comments.
No, everybody's so supportive of you. It's so great. It's cool. That's that's my favorite part of it. I do enjoy the stories and things. You bring up some great subjects and cover them very well. But to be able to see how many people that you touch and have a decent relationship with. They're very supportive of. I love your fan base.
Fan base. See, it's still weird to me because I still don't have it fully. Like, I haven't fully accepted that I get hundreds of thousands of views and I've got thousands of people who are watching my videos and those type of things, and it still doesn't like even make sense to me. Do you think it's weird seeing people comment or talk about your son in some ways? I mean, we've had some hard moments too with YouTube with Nick Carter, Mike the Situation. I mean, Bob Saget was coming out for me for a while, but he wasn't coming after you, but he was coming after me.
We've definitely had people come after us too.
Especially because my dad has the same name as me. So when you guys go and hire your private investigators and you think you're harassing me, you're actually harassing him.
I get some crazy text messages at like 3 a.m. and things, and it's like, hey, we're gonna expose this and expose that, and I kind of get I don't know how to say it.
A rise out of it?
Well, not a rise, but I get defensive.
You fight back.
Yes.
I get defensive, you know, and I have no problem sending a picture of myself out and saying, you know what, this is what I look like, and you can come after me. So, but no, it's definitely concerning. You know, it's something that we're worried about you. You're out here, you're so far away from us, but yeah, it's kind of creepy. Those people.
It's also kind of cool though that these people know who I am. I'm like, I feel like I'm just sitting in my room. Like, how did my even like Angelina her name's Angelina, right? From Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Messaging me last night at midnight saying, hey, I have a question for you. Like, girl, Angelina, what do you need from me? Like, why are these people, how did you find me? I wasn't talking about you anywhere. Thank you for watching this clip from the Let's Get Into It podcast. To view the full episode, visit the link listed below.